we go. I don't even know. I can't even tell.
It
So
should
it says
say
we are
on top
live.
here. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything up except for
I'll
this
wait for
thing.
it to pop up here.
All right, it says we're live. Yep, there we are. Okay,
Yep, looks
live.
like we are.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Nation.
All right, so welcome back, everybody. It's been a hot minute since I've been on this chat, so I am back to ruin it for everybody. Congratulations to me. So hopefully everybody's been doing well. It's been a long time, and I am back in somewhat of a small capacity, I guess, trying to get things set up the way I want them to be. You can see the new colors in the background, much larger space, and no art. I was never in the closet, sir. But I technically was in a closet. But anyway, I'm back, and I'm here with Big Johnson tonight. So, Big Johnson, how you doing, sir?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Made some acquisitions over the little hiatus, so I got to get out and shoot them. And hopefully, before all of our gun rights are stripped, we'll be able to do that, and we'll go from there. But what have you been up to?
Just shooting some stuff, testing out some stuff. Just doing that and holding down the fort. While you were getting your house moved in and all squared away. How's all that working out? Everything good?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. It's been quite the eye-opening experience to be living in a hotel for, I believe it was 63 days. I have to say it did open my eyes to families or even kids who are homeless and stuff like that. Because while we weren't technically homeless, not to have a place to really officially hang your hat in is kind of it's kind of a culture shock, especially always owning something or living somewhere where it was your home. So I'm just thankful I'm here and the kids are happy, the wife's happy, so can't complain, man. It's been all good.
There you go. Yeah, that's really good. Living out of a suitcase sucks. Trust me, I know.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely does.
It's not fun.
So why don't we get this show started, man? Let's talk about probably the most important thing that everybody's been talking about, and that's been the New York Giants. No, just kidding. It's actually been this thing called the election of 2020 that is still ongoing right now as we speak, but it's not looking good for the big orange dynamo, Donald J. Trump, or what a K. Trump. I don't even know what his middle name is, but it's looking pretty bad, man. It's looking pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, he still has a chance to pull it out. Knock on wood. Hopefully, he will. I would love for him to, but I don't know this whole. And I mean, we've talked about it before, but this whole ballot, write-in ballots and all the mail-in ballots and all this other stuff, man, it's been some kind of shady stuff. I mean, if you look at Wisconsin already, their the voters that voted have already outnumbered the registered voters. So something's not right.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, that's a dead giveaway. So,
and then obviously in Michigan, there was an anomaly where towards the end of the night, you saw this massive amount of Joe Biden votes come through and nothing came through for Donald Trump. So obviously they're looking into that as well. Who knows? Pennsylvania now is counting and he's suing Pennsylvania, but I'm not sure why he is. I think it has something to do with the fact that they changed the rules of the mail-in voting and it never went through the legislature in Pennsylvania, which is against the Constitution, apparently. So that's going to be interesting to see. So it's a complete shit show. Great.
Yeah. And also, allowing people to view, to watch them check the ballots and stuff. They're, putting, I don't know if you saw it, where they were actually putting poster board up over the windows so that people can't see through. I mean, there's just some shady stuff going on and it's just not right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to, whatever happens. We absolutely have no control over it. But we cannot be happy about it. But I'm not going to go out in the street and start screaming and crying like, all that other crap happened, for the other side. But definitely not right.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it plays out,
Real quick, I don't want to let this go by. Anthony put $2 in, so we appreciate it, Anthony, very much.
Oh, thanks, Anthony. Appreciate that. Let me I'm going to try to call as many people out here. Again, all my stuff is screwed up, so I don't even know how to scroll up at this point. So we've got Double B, Craig, Art, Frank, Keith, Mike Vander Kalen. Let's see. Who would I miss? Big Al, Mika, Aaron. Did I say Keith Gregory already? I can't remember.
You say it again.
Bizza Jizza. There we go.
Yeah,
Which means, a double X is here. Kathleen Music Lovers here. Hello, Range Randy. Hi. So everybody, the usual suspects are here right now, with more to come, I'm sure. And it's kind of interesting business here, because obviously I posted that thing today about the map of New York. That was actually the political map after we voted here in the state. And as everyone noticed, basically 90% of the state is red in New York State, with the exception of the urban areas. And that's why we lose every friggin' election. Mm-hmm. So it's really disheartening. And that's always going to be, to me, the ultimate argument for the Electoral College to stay intact. Because if not, then you're going to see things like this happen across the country. And you're actually seeing that right now. You look at Michigan, a lot of the votes in Michigan came out of the urban areas of Michigan. So, you see that uptick, and it goes to Joe Biden, because the people in the city they can't understand not to vote for these people, but it is what they do.
Well, and if you look at Texas, the first to report is always San Antonio, Houston, which is Harris County, Dallas, the big metropolitan areas. And that's what always turns us blue. And then we got to depend on Fort Worth and Odessa and Abilene and our good old boys, to pick it back up and flip it red. And it finally did, because I had people texting me and DMing me like, oh my God, what's going on with Texas? I'm like, dude, every freaking year it's like this, and it's getting closer and closer. We've been purple numerous times, but we've always pulled it out. But
look at Arizona. This year it's blue for the first time in a long time.
Yeah. And
let's see.
There's been some stuff already come up about Arizona, not just him squealing about the votes, but there's been some shady stuff already popping up there too.
Right. And somebody mentioned something about the Senate. The Senate is staying as is, so it will be a Republican-controlled Senate. The House will still be in the Democrats' hands. So, that'll offset some of that power vacuum that's going to happen here potentially. But let's talk about something that's other than politics and this bullshit that we're going to be dealing with for 4 years potentially, because I'm sure there'll be a lot of bitching going on for the next 4 years. So let's talk about something else that was recently just canceled out in Las Vegas, which was SHOT Show. I know that there were a lot of people who were, oh, this is terrible and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I've never been to SHOT Show. Honestly, I don't have any desire to ever go to SHOT Show. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm not, I think, for me, the ownership of guns and videoing on YouTube is about the guns. It's not really necessarily for me about the industry or the industry personalities, because I don't really care about the personalities. I don't sit there and stare and go, ooh, because it's, one of the famous guys on YouTube, because honestly, I don't give a shit. I would obviously want to go and just see the products, but obviously it was canceled. I mean, is it what do you think? Do you think that's a terrible loss? Do you think it's really irrelevant in regards to, getting some of these guns that are usually put out there, but we never see them anyway? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, to me, I could go or not go. It's really, I'm kind of, it would be cool to go out and see some of the people, and I've met them before, like Paul with Apex and that kind of stuff. Go out and see them and say hi, but to go and, oh, he's a YouTuber, I want to meet up with him. I mean, if it happened, it happened, but it's not my lifelong goal. But I could take it or leave it. I did go to the NRA show one year. That was kind of cool. And of course Harry flew in, so we went together, and it was good to visit with him. But, I saw a bunch of the famous YouTubers and stuff, but, I mean, it is what it is. I think it is kind of cool to look at the guns. And from what I understand, the NRA show is more built towards what we would be interested in. And the SHOT Show is kind of the opposite. But, I mean, I had a feeling that it wasn't going to hold up and stay. I was like, it's going to be canceled, because you got companies coming from Switzerland, coming from China, coming from all over the place. And, once they fly in, are they going to be quarantined? I mean, or if they can fly in. So I think that whole travel thing was going to be a mess for them anyway. So
yeah. Do you think that had more to do with it, just the traveling issues and that stuff? Or do you think it was maybe a mixture of that, plus the fact that there would probably maybe potentially less demand for high-end products, maybe slow manufacturing, so they didn't even have anything really to present at SHOT Show?
I think it was actually both of those. It would be coming out, buying a table, for the vendors, and kind of showing everything. And, I'm dealing with SEMA because this week is actually SEMA in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
It was canceled. So I'm having to do it virtually or, over the computer. Yeah, it's weird. And SEMA's the largest. It makes SHOT Show look like look like it's in a room. But that's a whole different deal. And this virtual stuff is, it's kind of for the dogs for me because you don't get to interact personally with people. So it doesn't have the same effect. But, it is what it is. I'll just be glad when this stuff, we don't even have to talk about Corona. I'm so sick of hearing that word. I could die.
Sure.
And I'm sure everybody else is too. So we just need to get that over with. And, we're all going to wake up tomorrow. We're all going to continue to do our lives. There's going to be some things changed if Biden is put in.
I think there's going to be a lot of things changed.
Right. But what I'm saying is, are we just going to fold like a lawn chair and just give up? I'm not. I don't know how other people feel about that, but
I think we still have to remain somewhat vigilant and hopeful. Obviously the Supreme Court is going to be a big issue. We'll see if they pack the court. Hopefully they won't get away with that. The Senate still is going to maintain itself, so that's a good thing. And somebody mentioned before, I think the biggest problem is going to be the executive orders, because then those will be challenged in the court. And then, of course, the go around, for that would be, okay, let's add another, 3-4 judges to the court, 5 judges, whatever the hell they want to do.
Yeah.
So, I think it's going to be bad. I'll be honest with you. I'm not feeling very hopeful this year. I feel like our taxes are going to go up. This belief on, hey, everything's free when it's really not, because it's going to be coming out of our pockets. I worry I'm very much worried about that stuff. So, we'll see. Like I said, what are you going to do right now? We can't do much.
Yeah.
So,
and borders, like we were talking about before, the border situation, the taxes and the levies or so against importers and stuff. Biden could be like, yeah, we'll just give it away. Who knows?
Right.
Who knows what can happen?
So I'm just looking at the side, comments that are going on. So, for some of you guys who are in this chat, maybe for the first time, we like to keep it, kind of peaceful. We don't want drama. We don't want conflict, because we just want to sit here and talk about guns and just be respectful to each other as best as we can. So I'd appreciate that if some of you guys on the side, one in particular, would do that as well. That's all.
Yeah.
So what else, what's been, what new, like I have a couple of new things that I haven't even, played around with. I've got a question for you. Have you changed anything in regards to like your carry? Like what are you still carrying as your most everyday carry? Obviously not the same gun every day for most of us, but what has become your go-to everyday carry?
Probably my CZ P10C with the comp and the optic. I run it in the P10F holster, Harry's P10F holster at the appendix, and I would say that's my dominant one. I have been running a lot, the other P10C also without the comp and the new Hollow Sun XT or whatever, or X2. I've been running that too, carrying the Glock 19 every once in a while, but I would say dominantly the P10C with the comp and the Hollow Sun.
Yeah, I've actually been carrying the Shadow Systems pistol. I really like it. I do like it quite a bit. So it's actually very good. So Art is asking, what are our thoughts on the AXG from SIG? Does it interest us at all or not for that price?
Me personally, and I kind of talked about it before on one of our chats, it's a 12 well, and of course they're getting insane money for it. That might be coming down now, but $1,300 to $1,400, it should be street value of like $1,000. But at that price for a striker fire aluminum frame gun, it really doesn't do that much for me. Not saying it's a bad gun, but I do like that it has interchangeable grips. And there's some features like that. And now that it will take the RMR, I think that's finally good that they allowed, to have, it fit more optics. But from what I understand, they don't have the screws available for the RMR, and I don't think the RMR screws will work, or the SRO, the Trijicon bolts will, or screws. But I think if it's something that you're personally interested in, buy it. It just doesn't do much for me. It's just going to be that same SIG trigger. I know it's, the skeletonized and that, but I meant the same kind of blah trigger. I don't know. It's just my opinion. Not saying it's bad if you want it or you have it. I'm not bashing on your gun. Just saying it's not for me.
All right. I don't know. I kind of like it. I definitely like it. I think it's right now the price is stupid. I've gone on Gunbroker a couple of times, and you're seeing them for $1,400, $1,700. That to me is a little bit ridiculous in regards to that particular firearm. I think and Art is bringing this up, which is exactly what I was going to talk about. I think the fact that it's a limited edition firearm may add some of that, I don't know, mystique to the gun itself. But as you see, Jeremy's talking about the Icarus Precision Grip. I have one for my X-Carry, and it's every bit as good as the P320 Scorpion AXG, blah, blah, blah. I like the fact that they have the grips that you can take off and replace at some point. But I still think there is a little bit of a market, maybe not a huge market, but somewhat of a market for aluminum striker fired handguns. Yeah. I think it definitely serves a certain group of people who like that extra weight, although albeit it's not a huge amount of weight. And I think having that ability to swap, grip panels and that stuff, I think that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I actually was talking to the guy from Icarus Precision about it when they first released it. And we were kind of talking about it. I said it to him. It was kind of almost like they were working together with him for a little while, and then they put this thing out. And I felt like it was kind of a kick to the balls to him. But he said they were in the works for a while, so he didn't take it too personally. Plus, they were going to be doing an LE on it. My thing would be, if it sells big, I could always see them doing more than just a limited run on them, because if they're going to sell, they're going to sell them. So, but I do like it, but I wouldn't. I got 2 SIGs I like a lot right now. I'm just hoping Icarus comes out with an X compact grip for it. That's what I'm really hoping they do, because that's what I want for it.
Yeah, and SIG is supposed to drop just the aluminum grip availability. I think it's going to be in gray. They were calling it like tungsten or gray or something. Mm-hmm. To where you could just buy that and then put that on your gun. And it might even be made by Icarus. I'm not sure, but that might be something people are interested in too. So I guess it just depends on what you want and what you're in the mood to carry. Did you see Kyla's question?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now about the PSA Dagger. I do not believe they're available. I don't believe they were ever pushed out to the markets for probably multiple reasons.
Yeah. What they did is they actually released a thing one day. They just threw it out there and said, hey, it's for sale, and had the price. And I mean, people were trying to order it and tap on it. I mean, I got an alert for it. Other people did. And when you put it in your card, it was like not available. And I think what they were doing during the COVID is they were testing the market to see if it's a good time to release it, things like that, to see what the demand would be for it. And I know it's going to have a huge demand because of the price, but all of a sudden they pulled everything back and, removed the posting and all that stuff. So who knows? I mean, I think they're still going to come out with it, but they might wait a little bit till, part of this kind of smooths away or gets better.
I mean, like I said, even with the other thing we were talking about, I still think it's just the fact that, I think right now would be a perfect time for them to release it, because it's cheap, it's affordable, and it's what everybody wants right now. I wonder if they kind of did one of those things where it's like a bait type of deal, oh yeah, we're going to have this thing, and generates a lot of fanfare, and just like everything else, it never comes to fruition.
That's exactly what I did. I said they were just testing the water and kind of throwing it out there, just keep it in people's minds. And then kind of get us like, hey, if we release this today and put it up for sale, how many would we sell? So if they were calculating all that correctly and all of those hits that came in, they're like, you know what, we could have sold 2,000 of them right then. Maybe they're building up inventory, and then they're going to, say, okay, we've got
drop it in mass,
Yeah, we got 2,000 of them ready to go, and boom, everybody just starts ordering them, because there's nothing worse than ordering it and then waiting for like 6, 8 weeks, 10 weeks. And then, cause you've been through that before personally, you have,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
and all of a sudden people get pissed off at you and start sending you a bunch of nasty emails. So I'm sure they don't want that to happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and Range Randy has a good question. What kind of firearms inventory are you seeing in your gun shops? What about you?
Man, well, it's kind of funny you say that because my normal one that I go to is a smaller shop. It's usually, it's on demand. So if you want something, he can usually get it. So I've asked him for a couple of things and he has not been able to get anything, but he's really a small, independent shop. I did pick up something from him. Should I tell you? I don't know if I want to tell you. I don't want to tell you because it's kind of stupid because I had it already once before, but I'm getting back into these.
That with you.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
But
so
I'm just trying to.
It's either a P10C, a P09, or a VP9.
No, definitely not VP9, man. That would be like 17 of them I've owned.
Okay.
It's not a P09 because it's just, I don't know. I don't want one of those. And what was the other one you mentioned?
P10C.
No, I got one of those already. I still have it.
I figured you were getting another one.
But I would say it has something to do with a Glock, and it's one of the skinny ones, but it's not the 43X.
48 MOS.
No, I didn't get the MOS. I got 48. I got 48 coming.
There you go.
And you know what kind of got me back into that was, because I was living out of a hotel for so long, I was carrying like my gun with me every fucking second of the day. And so I just got sick of carrying fat guns. So I wound up getting the Shield 4-inch with the optic, and I love it. So I figured, let me go to 48, but I got in black this time, and I'm getting into those slim guns again. So
yeah.
So I went there.
If you were in a friendly state, you could get the, those Shield 15 mags or S15 mags.
Yeah. Well, if I've got friends who live out of states, they can most certainly, secretly do something. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you can definitely do that for a brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I went to another gun shop that's also local to me, and they're a little bit bigger. They have a little bit more of a pipeline, and they got so many CZs in. Like, I've never seen so many CZ handguns in the state of New York all in one shop. They had everything, PO9s. They had a couple of PO1s, which was shocking. They had a PCR.
Mm.
They had a Rami. What else did they have? They had a P10C and FDE, which was shocking. And they had a PO7 and OD green. So I had to pick up a PO7 and OD green again, apparently.
Yeah, my gun stores are definitely getting an inventory. Now, it might not be exactly what you want or, what you're just like, hey, I've got to get that gun. But they're getting in some unique guns. Like I just, Texas Gun Experience just got in a Sons of Liberty Sage Dynamics 5.56, AR pistol, which I thought was pretty cool. Haven't seen one of those before, and they got one of those in. And they've gotten a lot of CZs and some Glocks and other stuff. But ammo is of course higher, and guns they're not too crazy at some places. Some places they're asking an arm and a leg for them, but it's there. And also a lot of long guns, like bolt guns. Seen a ton of those, but I don't think that's what's in demand right now either.
Yeah, everything in regards to rifles, shotguns around here is gone because that's the only thing you can walk out with the same day. So it's kind of been interesting to see that. First off, Kathleen, I don't sell Glock, buy a Glock, sell a Glock. I usually buy a Glock, buy another Glock, sell one Glock, buy a Glock, sell, buy. It's a habit. I can't help it. They're so replaceable. Glocks are so damn replaceable. Why wouldn't you sell them and buy them?
Well, right now they're harder to find just because of the situation.
Yeah. And that's why I got the 48. I actually got the 45 also. And I love that gun because it's, basically a 19X. And I wish I never got rid of my 19X, which was interesting because the other gun shop has a 19X. And I should have actually, if I had some money, I would have picked that up too, because they're done. They're not, producing them anymore. Yeah. But I don't have enough cash flow at this point.
Yeah, that's one, that's a Glock that I'm very glad that I got. I mean, it's similar to a 45, but what's up, man?
I decided to invite Mr. Mustachio over here. So everybody can see the porn stash going.
Yeah.
So what's up there, Mike? Uh-oh. We're having some technical difficulties, sir.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Oh yeah.
So we're
Sorry,
just,
my freaking YouTube was on. I wasn't expecting this, man. How are you
well,
guys tonight?
Oh, we're doing great. You know, it's the end of the world as we know it. So yeah, what
Dude,
the
it's
hell's
gonna get
going on with your
weird.
state, brother? I mean, your state just completely bailed. What's going on out there?
You know, I thought for sure this year we'd stay red, but I knew next election we'd be blue for sure, dude. All the California people that have come out here and
Yep.
all the East left coast people.
Mhm.
I don't know, dude. But then there's like what they're calling it Sharpie Gate already. All the
Yeah.
people were being
Yeah,
told to
all
use
that.
Sharpies, and apparently you can't.
Yep. No, won't
I
read
don't
it.
know, man. It's gonna be weird. On a good note, though, my swag came in, bro.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Look at you.
Yeah,
You're
Johnny
so
B hooked it
fancy.
up, man.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
Yes,
your
our
new house is nice, Phil.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Looks
I've only
good.
shown
Looks
it
real
to a
good.
couple of people because I don't want all the fans breaking down my door here and stuff. But
Right.
so only a few people know what the house actually looks like. But it's a little purple and pink in the back. Fuck it, why not?
Yeah. No, it looks really good, dude. Way better than the other place where you were like
Oh God,
leaned back and hit your head on the wall.
Oh, I know that's what it was. I'd hit my head on the wall. I couldn't even move. I had to turn sideways to get in and out. It was pathetic. So now I just have to deal with the crazy echo that's in this room because it's like a cave. But it's pretty sweet. I can't.
It doesn't
complain.
sound that bad right now.
No.
Yeah, that's what people were saying on the
Yeah.
last video I did. But in my ears, you hear a lot of feedback. Not feedback, but a lot of the reverberation on the walls and stuff. So we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll play with it. Make it look neater, nicer as I go through this, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And Kathleen's saying it's only 3 of my fans, but you know what, Kathleen, you're going to be here. So shut up.
Yeah. She'll be out there.
All right.
1776.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I got a bunch of guns. I'd love to show you the one that I'm really starting to, really salivate over quite a bit. I will tell you this Archon Type B is, it's pretty cool, man. It is a pretty sweet gun. There's a lot of cool things about it. I know I talked about it so many months ago, I feel like. But I love it. I think it's a pretty sweet ass gun. And I'd highly recommend anybody who's looking for something unique and cool, you might want to try it out because it's got a lot of cool little things to it. So that's been my one that I'm really like, man, this is pretty sweet. So
yeah, I wish they would have came out with that optic ready right out of the box. But I mean, it is a cool gun. I've played around with them before. Matter of fact, TGE had 2 of the Archons, and they were the 40 caliber. And I was like, where the hell did y'all find these? And they're like, I think we got the last 2 in the world. When all the big,
because nobody else wanted them.
They could grab. And they sold both of them.
40s. I actually just got lucky. I picked up a couple things. So today, it shipped today, the new M&P 2.0 optic ready.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah, so it's coming. It'll be at the shop tomorrow, I think. And then my buddy, actually, I got to zip out of here probably about 25, 30 minutes, go pick up a Zastava from him. So he's got almost like a brand new Zastava AK, the M70.
That's nice.
He's got all kinds of goodies on it and stuff. So I'm gonna go pick. He's got a lot of stuff he's giving with the ammo, and he's giving it to me for $950 because he's a brother. But
Shoo.
He's got all kinds of good gear.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anybody who wants to give me anything cool, but or at least sell at a good price. Especially now, prices have just been going through the roof on everything. So,
yeah.
Well, you don't want to spend $6,000 on a cheaper than dirt AR.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then the $27,000 on the ammunition. No thanks. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's funny stuff.
Yeah, the place that I do a lot of business with, AZ Guns out in Chandler, they've actually been getting good stock in. Oddly enough, a lot of CZ Shadows. Every time I go in there, they got a new shipment of CZ Shadows, man. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
but,
it seems like CZ's
got
out a lot of stuff recently.
Well, they've got they got
yeah,
the
my
Kansas
buddy
City,
just picked up the S.
Yeah, they got the Kansas City plant open. They're opening another one. We're in Arkansas, so they're getting stuff cranking.
Arkansas.
Yep.
Yeah, Arkansas. So yeah, I mean, we just.
What the heck else did I get?
Like,
if
you like that M&P 2.0 with the optic, man, you really should try out. And I know it's probably not something you'd want necessarily, but I've been playing around with the Shield 4-inch with the optic on it, It's pretty damn nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a polymer optic. It's
I
a
like the
shield
shields.
optic, but it's polymer, so it's very similar to what you'd find on a like a P365 XL. They're all plastic, but I mean, I don't plan
Yeah,
on
no, I've
throwing it
played
on
with them before.
concrete, but it's pretty sweet. It's this nice ass gun. I do like it quite a bit. So that'll
Yeah,
probably
so
become my everyday carry.
Yeah, the next like slimline thing I got to get, because I have, 43, 43X. I've got all that stuff, and I got the shield mags like you guys talked about. But I definitely want to get that 365 XL with the optic on it. It's funny you're talking about optics. I just got in the 509T and the new Holosun V2X, whatever it is.
Good.
It was funny. I was talking to Ken from Pervectus Group, and we were kind of talking about the optics and the Holosun specifically, and kind of that name that they're making for themselves for being quality, being a heck of a lot cheaper than some of the big names out there.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, and they're just durable. I mean, that people have just beat the crap out of them, and they're good.
Yeah.
He kind of laughed, and he's like, for me, it's more about clarity, reticle, and all this. He's like, how many times you dropped your gun? I'm all, once. And I thought I had a broken hand. And he was like, I'm not really worried about like dropping and beating the thing to death. He's like, I prefer the reticle that they have. But
right, that's a good point. That is a good point.
There's another company.
They sell you on this idea that it has to be indestructible and made out of some crazy metal or it won't work. But it's all about how does it actually show up when you put it to your eye. And I think that's more important because, like you said, how many times has anybody ever dropped a gun? I've never dropped a handgun, not once. I've come close, but I've never dropped one. Yeah. So, I'm more apt to drop a magazine or something like that, but not my gun. And that's a good point. Like, how many people? And if you drop it once, is it really going to break it? Maybe it'll scuff it up or some shit, but I don't think it'll break it.
Could if you dropped it at the perfect angle and stuff. But I mean, I've got 10 of the Holosuns now, and I mean, I love them. I've been running them for 2+ years now, and they're great. Jeremy has a question. And he's giving you $5. What do y'all think ATF is going? Yeah, what do you think ATF is going to do about current suppressor waiting on approvals?
I think they're going to throw your applications in the trash.
On the election, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to ring the alarm, and I'm sure you guys already did. If Biden gets in, stand by, because they are going to literally, like they said, they are going to come for your guns. And they ain't just going to come for the ones that look mean and ugly. They're going to come for everything. And I never thought I would see that, but they flat out said it. Said what they want to do and what they're going to come for, and he's done it before. He was the author or co-author of the Clinton ban. Thank God. I think we picked up like seat houses or house seats, which is good, but still, I mean, and I've never been more concerned that my own government was going to come try to take things from me than I am right now if Biden gets in office.
Yeah, they're gonna have hell to pay if they start doing that. I personally think if you've got something that's already in there and it's waiting to go through approval, as long as it goes through the ATF and you're paying your tax stamps and all that other crap, they're going to get their money and they're going to give it to you. Right. I think it's the stuff that, like the braces and all the other stuff like we've talked about before and everybody's talking about. I think that's the stuff that is probably going to get stupid. Now, granted, we've still got the Senate, but still, and Trump could still pull it out. I don't know. I'm not, I'm trying to think the positive way, but it's not looking good. However, I know that I'm not going to fold like a lawn chair. So if they, want to come knocking, they can come knocking, but sorry. We don't roll.
Yeah,
like
I don't know how it's going to play out. I mean, I think it's one thing to say things when you're on the campaign trail that sound catchy, but then you got to actually think about the logistics behind it. Like, how could you possibly actually think you're going to get away with doing that? That's going to be the interesting part of this, because unless you want to provoke all out bloody war, to me, it's a bullshit statement, because, I'm going to come and get your guns. How are you going to do that? How many sworn law enforcement officers are really going to enforce that garbage?
if they were honestly going to do that, even prior to any of this, they could go to Chicago and knock on every door. They haven't done that. So you think they're going to come to? You think they're going to pull up our information? You know, when we bought these rifles and bought the stuff that we bought, and they're going to start reading the list, you know, and say, "Oh, he's got this, he's got that." They don't have the manpower. They can't even control riots. How the hell do you think they're going to control that? How do you think they're going to go door knocking? They're not. It's just not going to happen.
It would be a rule of attrition. So this is, you know, and here's how it's going to work. They know by and large, those of us that own guns, all of us except the people are out there robbing liquor stores, we're going to follow the law, right?
Yeah.
So they'll make some stuff illegal, and the vast majority of people, because they are red-blooded Americans that are probably going to follow laws, will turn stuff in, or they'll try to do some mandatory buyback like they did in Australia. And by and large, you'll get a lot of people that will say, this is better than catching a felony. I just don't get to have this anymore. And then they'll come for the next thing, and then they'll come for the next thing. And then what they're going to do is just by de facto status, try to make you a felon. So when they see you somewhere, they can try to push it. The problem is that's going to be federal. The problem is, will the states, which they normally do, follow in line and write state laws that coincide with federal? And if they do, then I got to go find a new job because I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, you know, I know what you're saying. You know, my brother lives in Australia, and I agree with that portion of it, but there's a part of it that I just can't wrap my head around, because I think the one thing that we always overlook when we talk about this stuff is the fact about who we are as a people. You know, we are not Australians. We're not Europeans. We're Americans. Americans have this tendency to not like to be told what to do and how to do it.
Constitution.
Right. But again, you know,
that document means nothing. That document means nothing to the Democrats anymore.
Yeah. I agree. So my thing is, you know, they may say, okay, if you don't turn it in, you're a felon. Okay, then nobody turn it in. What are they going to do? Lock us up? They're letting everybody out in New York State. They just let out, I think, something like 12,000 ex-convicts in New Jersey today. So it's like, okay, great, put me in jail, because it'll be a lot better.
They don't want to keep those people in jail, though. They don't want to keep those people in jail. They want to put people like you in jail in their stead.
Exactly. How does that make any sense?
What did Frederick Douglass say? It was Frederick Douglass. He says a man's life, it lives in 3 boxes: the ballot box, the jury box, and the cartridge box.
So, but you know, Art's bringing up a point saying that the red flag laws will be the first to have police knock on doors. You know, except they're not going to use it on
it's already there,
but gun registrations, and and New York is where everything's registered in New York. You know, they know exactly what you guys have.
But this is something that people don't understand about, like the red flag thing. This is something that people don't understand. That's already federally on the book under the Brady notice. So if you think that your state doesn't have a red flag right now, you're lying to yourself. It's a federal statute that anyone that goes and gets an order of protection or something like that can add on what's called a Brady bill notice. And they basically just without cause say, hey, you've got to turn your guns in. Now, it's still technically kind of voluntary. It's not a search warrant, right? But you're going to get served an order of protection by a law enforcement officer. And on there is going to be a sheet of paper saying federal statute, blah, blah, blah. I forget it off the top of my head. But you are required to turn in your firearms for safekeeping to local law enforcement. So every state already has that under a federal statute. I don't think a lot of people know that, and if they don't, they need to, because that's something that is a just sheer flat on its face violation of the Constitution and due process and the right to face your everything, because they're trying you basically and chilling your Second Amendment in absentia based on someone's word, which may be right, may be wrong, may be a lie, may be factual, who knows, because you haven't had the right to face your accuser.
All right, so let's switch gears. Let's talk about something fun, like all of the new drugs that are now legal in Oregon.
Yeah.
So Arizona drugs now are legal. So that's awesome, man.
Wait, what?
So now if you want,
Yeah,
you
Oregon-
didn't hear that? They
Oregon
just
has
passed
it.
legislation. So
No,
in
you're
Oregon,
asleep.
you can have heroin,
Cocaine.
cocaine,
Holy
crack.
shit.
Oh yeah, it's all.
Hey, we
now they're
legalized
not
Arizona.
talking
In
about-
Arizona, we
Oh no,
legalized
this is the
weed.
head.
So we
yeah,
raised
this is the heavy
taxes.
shit.
We
Hard
legalized weed, and we voted for a child sniffer.
Oh, yeah, I know. We're winning, baby, winning. So,
I think,
so if you
like I
guys
said
are in,
before, I think every state's going to eventually legalize weed or medical marijuana, one way or the other. For taxes, I mean, it's going to, they're going to make the money off of it. But to say, okay, now crack and cocaine and heroin and all this, I mean, that's definitely way out there.
listen, a little heroin and crack isn't going to hurt you. Okay, just ask
no.
Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
Hey, you can still get paid $84,000 a month while you're on that meth pipe.
That's right, and know nothing about what you're getting paid for. Which I mean, I wish I could get that job. That's what the job I need right there.
Yeah.
So that was Oregon legalized the whole state, or just like?
No, I'm sorry. Huey's correcting me. He's right. It was decriminalized, so it's not legal. It's just decriminalized, which basically essentially makes it legal. I think
legal. Yeah,
but the whole state of Oregon.
Yeah,
that's what it's saying.
Whatever. I mean, I nothing surprises me. I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to 2020, right?
Exactly. And then Art is asking a question to the audience. What's the last thing that could happen in 2020 as its final FU way to end the year, other than Biden winning? I'm thinking it's at least one asteroid. One asteroid is going to hit the Earth. That's what I'm betting on.
I'm betting on something that I sure the hell hope doesn't happen. But think about it. What usually happens around election time?
Well, besides some form of cough thing that gets people sick?
Yeah, no, not that.
Oh, you mean an attack?
Well, not from a foreign country. It could be, like another Parkland, and I don't wish for this.
Oh,
yeah.
Something to really push their agenda even farther.
Sure.
I'm just going to go right out and say alien contact.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of sweet.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing that could make it weirder.
Where they pick you up in the trailer and give you the finger wave.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool. Aliens, a meteor, and potentially some form of attack. So maybe it's going to be an alien attack with a meteor. Just saying, guys.
You never know. We do have Space Force now. This is where we can put Space Force out there to protect us.
Well, we may not have it in January anymore. So if it's going to happen, let it happen now.
That's true.
No, you'll have Gender Force in January, not Space Force.
Yeah.
And MD Polo is saying he's hoping that the asteroid will hit Hillary's home. So
yeah, I think not just guns, but I think they're gonna start messing with a lot of other stuff. And I've predicted this, and everybody can still say it, but I think Biden, if he does win, I think he's going to be there for maybe 6 months, and then all of a sudden, he forgets his name, has to step down, and all of a sudden you've got her in there, and it's going to be 10 times worse. And then she's going to say, you can't do this, you can't do that, this order, you can't walk and chew gum at the same time. I mean, I think that's what she's going to try to push.
Mm-hmm. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce a new topic really quick that we don't really talk about ever. But because I was home here for a while, I took a week off from work, which was nice, man. It was like a vacation. I got a chance to actually watch TV at night, which was kind of nice. So I'm going to ask, have you guys seen any shows that you would recommend to our wonderful audience of 58 people that are watching? By the way, that number is very low. 58 is low. This is my first one back, and it's sort of insulting. I'm not going to lie, but
I think it's because everybody's stuck on this election crap. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
So is there a show that you guys have been watching that you can recommend to anyone in this panel?
I can recommend a few. If you have Netflix, and I'm waiting for the next episode, but Ozark, if you haven't watched Ozark, it's freaking awesome. That movie or that series kicks ass. And what's really weird is I've gotten into these when I have time. I've gotten into these. They're kind of like mob dramas and stuff, but a lot of them are shot like in Rome and Italy, so it's got the dubbing of the mouth. But I've gotten hooked on a couple of those. I can't even remember the names, but I'll think of it here in a minute. But I mean, and Midas is saying Mandalorian. Hell, I watched the first season of that and I thought it was awesome, and then I was going to turn on and watch the second season and on Disney Plus, and I'm like, what the heck? So I asked, I said it wouldn't come up, and it was like, you need to renew, and I'm like, where the hell's Mandalorian? They're like, oh, we never watched that, so we canceled it. And I'm like, what? So anyway, we don't have that one anymore.
What about you, Mike?
Oh man, so me and my wife, we killed a few shows. I have gone, and I think all of America needs to do the same thing. I have gone straight to the 80s testosterone collage-filled movies that we grew up on. Big Trouble in Little China, Commando, Terminator, Raw Deal, everything Arnold made from like 87 to 2000, and everything
Red
that
Heat,
Stallone
baby.
was in.
Cobra.
I watched Kickboxer the other day in Bloodsport, and I was so happy because I hadn't seen those movies. I think everyone, especially anyone who's below the age of 30, needs to binge every action movie from the late 80s and early 90s.
And that's how your mustache grew, because all that testosterone it generated from watching those movies.
Yeah, and I agree with Kelvin. Yellowstone is freaking awesome. I love Yellowstone.
So I've watched 3 shows. 3 shows? Shit, I can't even remember. So one show that I recommend if you're into like, Viking shit and stuff, a show called Barbarians. It's on Netflix. It's a German show with German and Italians being spoken in it, which is excellent show. And I also been watching The Boys season 2. So if you haven't seen The Boys on Amazon Prime, man, you guys need to check that out. That is a great show.
I've watched all those. That show's freaking crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's about all I watched. So I binged those for a couple of days, and it was good. They were good stuff, man. So that's it. I wanted to see what you guys were all about, but I agree. The 80s movies were pretty sweet. 80s and 90s had some real good action movies. I definitely, Cobra was one of the best ones that Stallone ever made, because it's just as corny but as brutal as an 80s action flick, or probably late 80s action flick can be. Big Trouble in Little China is probably one of my favorite Kurt Russell movies of all time. That
Egg Shen's Trading Company.
Yeah. Tombstone was excellent also with Kurt Russell.
Los Angeles, or Escape from Los Angeles.
Escape from LA. Escape from New York. Escape from LA.
Yeah.
Now,
Kurt Russell's a
Snake
legend,
Plissken.
man.
Neither one of y'all mentioned the best Sylvester Stallone movie ever, or I didn't hear you.
Wait,
Over the Top. Over the Top.
Over the Top. That's right, man. Got to get those arm wrestling movies in.
He's got the rack in his truck and he's working it.
Guy looks like he's having a stroke when he's arm wrestling.
It was.
That was horrible.
One of the cheesiest movies ever.
Yeah, oh no, Last Action Hero. That was so terrible.
That was a bad movie. Yeah. A lot of Arnold's movies are pretty friggin' bad, man. When you go back and you watch them again, you're like, holy shit, I can't believe I love this movie. But I will say,
Blasphemy.
One of his best movies was Eraser. That was one of his best ones.
Yeah, it was all right. Have you seen any of his newer stuff, though?
I actually like
I saw some of his newer stuff.
The newer Rambo's not bad.
Yeah, the newer Rambos were good. The newer stuff that Arnold came out with is. Did you see the one? There was one where it was like a drama where his daughter gets killed in a plane crash. Did you see that one?
Yeah,
that was pretty decent. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. He did another one too called Annie.
Annie, I don't know. Was that his daughter's a zombie or some shit?
Yeah.
I never saw that. Was that good?
It was good, man. So he's done a couple of like comedy and drama type things, which is cool. Because he's obviously not going to be running around, flexing the biceps in action movies anymore. He's already had his third heart surgery now, and
but he's still
all that stuff.
Yeah, and some people bring up some good movies here. Like Art is talking about Demolition Man. That was excellent with Stallone and Wesley Snipes. That's
Wesley
awesome.
Pipes,
that was a good movie.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Wesley Snipes. All of his Blade movies were pretty good.
Yeah.
Passenger, what was it? Passenger 56 or something like that, 54. I can't remember what it was. He was
Now,
The old
in
y'all
there,
are
Harrison
too.
Ford movies.
What's
Yeah.
the ones where the Expendables?
Yeah.
Those are pretty cool. We get to
Those are
see
good.
everybody. All the old
All right.
guys.
Have any of you seen this movie called Omega Force?
Mega Force.
No, it's like a cornball 80s. It wasn't Delta Force because that's the one with Chuck Norris and what's the guy with the white hair? I forget his name all the time, but he was in like the Dirty Dozen and shit. Lee Marvin, but it was it's called Omega Force, and it's like an 80s style Delta Force kind of thing, and Omega Force is badder asser than Delta Force. And they ride motorcycles that shoot missiles out of them and shit. And the lead guy looks like he just escaped from an 80s rock band. It was pretty intense, man. When you're a kid watching that, you're like, dude, I'm going to be on Omega Force.
Oh, The Substitute.
I saw The Substitute. That's who was that? That was, God, what was his name?
He was the same
Wasn't
guy
that
that was
Tom
in The
Berenger?
Sniper. Tom Berenger.
Tom Berenger. Yeah.
Now,
I know a lot of movies, man. I watched a lot of movies growing up.
One of the best movies that Arnold Schwarzenegger was ever in, and you can fight me if I'm wrong, is
Hercules in New York.
Twins.
Yeah. Conan.
Twins.
Twins.
Daniel
Yeah.
DeVito.
It was good, but I like the Conan. I think my favorite ones because there was so little talking and so much action. It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not the tumor.
Get in the chopper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy. Let me tell you. Let's see. I'm looking at some of the people that are putting stuff in there, saying Stargate. Stargate was a good movie. Soldier was a good movie. Soldier was good. That's also another Kurt Russell movie. I'm a huge Kurt Russell fan. Best movie he's ever been in. Backdraft. Just want to say that. Fantastic movie.
Tombstone.
I would say
Tombstone.
Tombstone.
Tombstone was good. Tombstone was good, man.
He's ever been in.
Bill Paxton. You had that movie. Was, everybody cool was in that movie, man.
Yeah. Sam, what do you mean? You don't remember Sam? God, I forgot. I had his name.
Sam Shepard, bro.
Huh?
Sam Shepard.
No.
That was his brother.
I know. Yeah, but what was his real name?
It was what's his name? Sam Shepard. That's the actor's name. Sam Shepard played the older.
The old dude. It was in Lonesome Dove. He does the commercial.
Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott. Because
Sam Elliott.
RCH Frank just said that. Sam Shepard, Elliott, same shit. Damn it. His name is Sam.
Well, Sam Elliott, man, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's a man.
Universal Soldier. How many of you saw Cyborg? That was an old.
Great movie. So terrible.
And the guy in the eye.
Now, when I was a kid, a really cool movie that we all had to go see was Tron. Based on the video game.
I wasn't born yet.
None of the big name. I mean, it wasn't Arnold, but Tron was like the big shit that was going to come up. That's back when we were playing Pong.
Yeah, I don't think I was born yet.
No, you
Music
weren't.
is throwing in there. Birdcage with Robin Williams. That was a funny movie.
It was actually funny.
God, Robin Williams, man, that guy was great. That was sad, man, because that dude was just solid. He had that movie Patches, man. God, that was like a. You ever see that movie where he was the doctor and I guess that was like a true story too or something?
Based on a true story. That was on a true story, and so was the one when he was in the movie with De Niro. I forget what that one was. I forget what the hell that movie was.
Yeah,
he was
Mad
good,
Max.
man. Robin Williams was great.
All the Mad Maxes.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Master Blaster.
I'll still watch the Mad Max every once in a while.
Yeah.
Funniest movie I ever seen was History of the World Part 1. Mel Brooks.
The Life of Brian.
Yeah.
Life of Brian's funny. Yeah. Meaning of Life was funny.
Come here, Piss Boy.
Eat another fucking thing.
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs is great. Yeah.
I bet she gives great helmet.
Yeah.
Airplane was funny.
Yeah. I'm going to develop my drinking problem.
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man, I think for me the best movies
John Candy
were John Candy was hilarious.
The
But
great
anything
outdoors.
that
Planes, trains, and
anything-
automobiles.
anything Mel Brooks made was hilarious. Blazing Saddles. Think about all the movies that man has made. Fucking hilarious movies, man.
Yeah.
Could you
Just like-
imagine if they made Blazing Saddles now?
They'd never be able to do it. Never. My gosh, never.
No.
Just
Kyle
that one
is good.
scene in the town. They'd
Kyle
never
has
be able
got
to do
the World According to Garp with Robin Williams. That was a great movie too.
That was a great movie too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's funny
See-
when John Lovell or whatever, he goes to see him and he's at his mother's home and he's the ex-football player that had the surgery and he's like, you're looking at him like, what the hell? And it's a dude dressed up as a woman. That was hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah.
Sam Gal's referring to Airplane. Picked a bad day to stop sniffing glue. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Even the second one was good. He's going to Jello or Jelly.
Yeah.
This shit is so funny.
Yeah, Christmas
Oh,
Vacation. Shitter's
The
full.
Naked Gun.
Yep.
I remember that.
Goonies. We got a Goonies mention here.
Oh,
The
Goonies
Warriors.
is amazing. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Warriors, man.
Come on, play it.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
That was It was just on the
what
other day.
about Monster Squad?
Monster Squad. Oh, man, I don't even know what that was.
It was the group of kids and like all the horror film like monsters came to life.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
God, you remember that Monster Squad? That was like
That was probably
I was like, yeah.
I'm going to tell you a movie that nobody's ever seen. Saturday the 14th. No, see? No one's ever seen that movie. It's similar to what you were describing, Monster Squad. These people
Yeah.
move into this house and like every monster movie is in it or monster movie character is in it. It was actually pretty damn funny. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
You know what you
So-
need to go watch? You need to go watch a movie called Thunder Road with Robert Mitchum in it.
Thunder Road.
I
with
can't
Robert.
believe somebody hasn't said this, but the original Death Wish.
Oh yeah, Charles Bronson, man. That man was tough as nails.
Never watched him.
Oh,
Oh.
it was awesome.
I
Dude,
just
he's in
couldn't
the
do it,
Dirty
man.
Bruce Willis did a remake of it,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of them.
It wasn't anywhere near as good. You ever
No.
watch Dirty Dozen?
Yes.
Mike, you ever watch The Dirty Dozen?
Yes.
I've seen parts of it.
Dude, Charles Bronson, Telly Savalas,
Yeah.
all kinds of fucking. That was
Who
a good
Loves
movie
You,
too,
Baby?
man. Yep.
Kojak.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, that's when they had
Into
some
the
good
Dragon.
shows back in the day, like Beretta, Kojak, Barnaby Jones, all that
all
crap.
right, you're totally aging yourself out of this conversation.
No,
buddy.
dude, I'm
No-
older than y'all, but I remember all that old stuff too.
American Werewolf in London was pretty good. Enter the
Okay.
Dragon, of course.
Oh,
classic.
Enter the
really?
Dragon, dude. Yeah.
I remember Hee Haw.
Oh, wow.
Definitely, we're gonna stop you on
What
that
was-
one right there.
What was the comedy one that it was the Last
Hee-Haw.
Dragon or something with Leroy?
Oh yeah,
Bruce
Leroy. Yeah, Bruce Leroy. That's right. And Shogun.
Shonuff.
Rock-
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Shogun.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
Starsky
He
and
was the
Hutch?
four. What was it?
Starsky
What
and
was
Hutch?
it?
The Glow.
I forget what he was. Yeah, that's yeah. That was great. That was a good movie too, man. These are classic movies that most people
Yeah.
will never watch.
And another
Too
movie they
bad.
would never have out right now is Trading Places with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
They
We
would
just
never
watched
have
Eddie Murphy's Raw. That like both of his
Yeah.
comedy specials from back then, he would get run out of town if he did those now.
So would
for the
Richard
stuff
Pryor.
he says.
If he was still alive,
The
Richard
Shogun
Pryor
of Harlem.
Yeah.
Sam Gal definitely has seen basically every movie I've seen because he's
Yeah.
mentioned names that I know very well.
Right.
That's funny.
Shogun of Harlem.
Indy Irish is dissing on me. He's saying that I have my long-term memory is good with dementia.
Man. Well, we ate up most of this chat about absolutely nothing related to firearms, and I'm okay with that, man, because we never talk about
Well, and
anything else
also
but guns.
we need to have a little fun and get off. Everybody's so freaked out right now about everything, and it's
Mhm.
good to just kind of, have a good time.
I just
Yep.
can't wait to get out into the woods and get back out on the water, like in the lake, in the world again, man.
Yeah.
Mm. Yep. All right, so we're coming to an end. Why don't you gentlemen tell me if there's anything special you'd like to say or talk about before you get off here in about a minute and a half.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Go ahead, TC.
Oh man, that's it. I'm just working my butt off, but I appreciate you guys having me on again and the audience. I love talking lifestyle stuff, man, because
Huh.
all the stuff we're talking about brings back those good memories, and I think everybody out there needs to find something to smile about right now because it's a
Yeah.
train
I
wreck.
agree. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
What about you,
Yeah,
Big
we're all
Johnson?
starting the dumpster fire.
All right. You got anything you
Well,
want to say?
I definitely want to thank everyone for being on, and thanks TC, and of course I'm glad you're back 1776. And you know, I mean, we've got some videos coming out. If you're not following all of us on Instagram, please do. You know, subscribe to us. We appreciate it very much. Hit that thumbs up. We love the likes, and we will definitely see you next week.
Yep. And somebody mentioned the movie Scanners, so I would second that. That was a great movie, watching people's eyeballs blow up and shit. I love that movie. But yeah,
Flatliners.
you know, yeah, yeah. I mean, so many good movies. You know, guys, I know right now things are looking a little bleak, but all we can hope and do is try to be better than we were yesterday. And hopefully, you know, that's all we can do now moving forward. But watch some cool movies, watch our YouTube channels. And that's about it. You know, thanks for joining us as always. And we'll see you next week, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great
All
night.
right.
Carry on.
Toodles. All right.